What's going on, guys? Hey, so this is something I wanted to do. CBS News contacted Rolo and myself a few months ago, and they told us that they were going to do a story. All we knew is that Richard Reeves was in the story, and it had to do with like boys and men falling behind. I got to tell you, there was some skepticism from some people. I'll tell you specifically, Owen Cook was one of them.
Including me.
To my understanding, yeah, including Rolo. To my understanding, Myron also did not want to be a part of this. I'm not sure that they asked him, but I think he said he did not want to be a part of this. Yeah. They reached out to Andrew Tate. He did not want to be a part of this. So I decided I wanted to do it just because I do like debate. I don't really feel uncomfortable in these situations. And I do admire Richard Reeves so much that I really did want to do this. So I went ahead and said yes. They come in, they do the interview. I'm obviously expecting to get, an ambush. And I told them that, and they were Matt Morrison, shout out to him. Also Sharif Mojwood, I think that's how you say his name. Let me see. Sharif. I don't want to get his name. It's Mowjood. He was the guy who was doing the filming. And then also Adam Yamaguchi was the correspondent who came out there. They couldn't have been nicer. They were super cool. What they did was they filmed me, training basketball for immersion, and then they let me do an hour-long segment inside of the conference room here, and then they came to Access Vegas. But before they came to Access Vegas, myself and Adam, we had a quick sit down here at the conference room at Panorama Towers. So they were with us 4 times, and then they told me how they were going to represent me. Now I want to say a couple things before we go forward. They had asked me beforehand to clarify a few things about my program, etc. And they told me, and I expected them something really bad to happen. They asked me if I denounce Andrew Tate's content, and I'll show you the email that they sent me. And I think what they wanted me to say was that I condemn his content, and what I said instead was, I am very much a proponent of free speech. I would not talk the way he talks. And they kind of were like, to be fair, Matt Morrison was trying to warn me. He was like, hey, man, just to let you know, like, Andrew Tate says some pretty crazy stuff. So if you want to change your answer, now would be a time to do it. I did not change my answer. I did not change my answer because I feel the same way. It's just like it's when, and you'll hear a little bit of the language in this segment. It's a 48-minute segment. It's on CBS News. If you guys want to go check it out right now. The language in there is that everything that is in the manosphere, not everything, but it's already deemed sexist or it's deemed misogynistic. They don't really give you the opportunity to judge for yourself. Some of it they do, but a lot of it they don't. They just say there's a part in there is like someone saw Andrew Tate and then was 4 more times likely to see sexist content. Well, I didn't see the sexist content, so I don't know that it's sexist, but that's essentially how they describe it. The last thing that
the same thing with me on Dr. Phil is like they basically wanted me to be a proxy. Like I was like, Andrew Tate's understudy for that one. And the first thing I said, I would say this then, and I said this today, is like, I am not an apologist for Andrew Tate. If you want Andrew Tate's take on something, go talk to Andrew. If you want my take on something, I'll be happy to give it to you.
So then the other thing that I think kind of changed the way I feel about this, I'm just gonna be honest with you, was since this happened, it was before the death of Charlie Kirk. And afterwards, I came to realize that there's a few things here. It's like, so you'll see it in this news documentary. I really thought they did a pretty fair job, and a lot of people in this thing are saying things that Rolo and I have been saying for years. And you're going to hear a lot of people agreeing with us. I kept thinking there was going to be a punchline at the end where they were just going to try to trash us, and they didn't. It really didn't happen. And also, I'll tell you, Matt Morrison told me before the show, when I talked to him on the phone, he goes, I think you're going to feel like you were represented pretty fairly. I do wish they would release the whole interview that I had with Adam. I think that would be really entertaining stuff. But if Matt or Sharif or Adam are watching this, nothing but good thing to say about you guys. I thought it was a really good deal. So we're going to start the interview here, and I'm going to start and stop a couple times. The other thing I want to point out here is this is mainstream media. This is legacy media. It doesn't get more legacy than Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS News, Dan Rather, right? This is CBS News. They are left of center by definition. Now, they're not as left of center as MSNBC, but they're still left of center. And I thought it was actually kind of courageous for them to actually do something like this, because what this article is basically stating is that the stuff we've been saying for 10 years, they finally caught up to it. And they're now saying the same things. But they also need to sort of paint it over and say, well, even though what Myron and Andrew were saying is pretty much sort of right, and we all kind of agree with them, they're still not right. And instead, let me present to you this group of academics who will present basically the same ideas, but just different with different words. And by the way, I don't have a problem with that. I think the way Richard Reeves describes the problem is a little bit more accurate than the way that Andrew Tate does, even though Andrew Tate is very entertaining. It's just a different way of describing the problem. Okay, cool. And then the other reason why they asked me to do it, number one, is because I have a course, like actually an in real life course, and they were very interested in that. And two, there's a photograph of me and Andrew Tate, which is also the reason why the London Times wrote an article about me as well. All of a sudden, I become relevant because Andrew Tate was mentioned in the show Adolescence, and so that's where that whole thing comes from.